So I love meeting my students, especially when they succeed, so we can really dig into what made them successful. Check this out. This is one of my top students. What's up, Tim Sykes, millionaire mentor and trader here. Second time meeting Roy. Last time we were trading live in Dubai together, which was pretty cool. Do we have that video? You do?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so we'll link that video. You can show a little clip, but like if you click below, you can see me and some of my millionaire students trading live in a crazy suite in Dubai. It's amazing what you can do. The first link will always be my challenge. This is where all my millionaires are being created. Number one question I get is, how do I be your next millionaire student? You join my challenge and you study your ass off. If you don't join my challenge, if you just want to watch YouTube videos, that's a start, but none of my millionaire students have succeeded with just YouTube. You need to take your education seriously. So this is why I highlight the students. I highlight the crazy life I live. I'm very blessed, very grateful. 2 links below, click them both. See what happens. Be open to your education. Take your education seriously. So anyways, Roy and I, met up in Dubai. Pretty cool. I was there celebrating Kyle Williams and Huddy crossing over 1 million. Huddy's now at around 2 million. Kyle's around 4 million. We were also joined by Ali Wazan. He's closing in on 1 million. And was somebody else there? I feel like there was another student there too. I don't even remember. I can't even keep track. I've got nearly 3 dozen millionaire students. Whatever. Whoever's there, they're successful. Roy is now several million in. Just hung out with him again in Amsterdam. Check out this clip of Roy and I. One lesson while you're drinking your healthy coffee. One lesson for everybody. What's a life lesson?
Trade small and keep everything in perspective. Like how you will trade and what makes you happy in life.
Does coffee make you happy?
Yes, really happy.
How good is this coffee?
Really good.
Yo,
yes.
I told you. Trade small, stay safe, drink coffee. Here's Roy. Get inspired. So, Roy and I had an amazing cup of coffee. I was actually supposed to be in Amsterdam a little longer. I got a little sick. Unfortunately, my travel schedule catches up with me sometimes. But we had a good conversation. It was awesome to catch up with him. He was down a few 100,000 off his highs. Like, he was doing really well in Dubai, making new highs. 2022 was a little less. I think he might have lost, I think he said he was like down 100 or 200,000, which sounds like a lot, but when you make a few million, it's relatively well contained. And that's why in the tip, he's saying trade small, because in Amsterdam, he had already lost a few 100,000 off his highs and he was trading smaller and he was getting it back with smaller size. It's less stressful. When you make too much, this is lesson number 1. I'm going to give you 5 lessons from my meeting with Roy. Lesson number 1, when you make too much, you're always trying to push, more, but sometimes you hit a ceiling. Whether it's a glass ceiling or a wood ceiling, it's, depending on the market, depending on the trader. But like oftentimes you start trading too big and it gets very scary. A lot of my new millionaire students aren't used to trading with such big accounts. And as Spider-Man says, with great power comes great responsibility. Or maybe it was Spider-Man's uncle who died because Spider-Man wasn't responsible. That's a fictional story. This is real, okay? When you have a big account, you have great responsibility. Roy pushed a little too much, came down. Jack Kellogg recently, over $10 million in trading profits, but he lost nearly $1 million on some of his swing trades. He went a little too big. Kyle Williams closing in on 4 million. He hodled on crypto for far too long, lost a few 100,000. So even my top students still have some mistakes. Jack Schwartz closing in on 4 million. He lost like 100 or 200,000 trading too big. Every time I see Jack, I've seen him a few times, Jack Schwartz, he's trading smaller, getting back into the rhythm. So lesson number 1, it's okay to go backwards. Lesson number 2, as I always say, it's a marathon, not a sprint. Going backwards is not a bad thing like people think. Losses are not a bad thing like people think. They're sometimes part of your journey. Sometimes when you make 2, 3, 4 million, like a lot of my students have now, you have to lose 100, 200, 300,000 to learn what not to do. I, once upon a time, lost 500,000 plus on Cygnus E transactions. I never had a big loss before. It taught me what not to do. Go too big, fall in love with a company or technology, and I couldn't get out. I didn't have risk management back then. Since that loss, I've never had a $500,000 or $400,000 or $300,000 or even $200,000 or $100,000 loss. That scared me shitless. Sometimes the best thing that you can do is lose because it snaps you back into reality, especially when you make too much. Lesson number 3, the world is a beautiful place. Like Roy and I had a great time in Amsterdam. We have a great time in Dubai. He's traveling. I'm trying to get him over to Italy too. I love Italy. I can't tell you how great it is to be able to trade from anywhere. I know it's not like the biggest lesson, but it's the most meaningful. It's the most enjoyable. You can literally trade from anywhere. Statistically, I do better trading and traveling. Some people say, how do you keep up with all this? I burn out a little too much, like going to Asia with my charity. Sometimes my health suffers. But statistically, I'm better on the road because I'm, jet lagged. I don't have great Wi-Fi. I'm usually doing something fun or adventurous. I don't want to trade. And when you don't want to trade, you're forced to take only the best trades. When you're forced to only take the best trades, you usually do better, at least for me. That's me as an overtrader. Leave a comment. I'm curious. Do you do better like trading like at an office or a cubicle? Like if you have good sleep? Or, do you travel and you trade off like one laptop and you don't necessarily have like the best setup? I'm curious, what works better for you? There's no one right answer. In 2022, you could trade however, and you probably did not great because 2022 is one of the worst years in stock market history. Not every year is created equal. Lesson number 4, it's an amazing thing to make a lot of money at a young age. Roy's a very young guy. I know a lot of people who have made money in their 50s, 60s, 70s after decades, long-term investing and stuff like that. They're too old. They can't even really enjoy it. That's the reality. I do have some older students who are millionaires now, but they have family, they have responsibility, they're grateful for the money, but they can't really like push it. When you're young, you don't know what kind of life you can have. You don't know what the world offers you. And I encourage you to try to become a millionaire at a young age. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. And how do you become a millionaire at a young age? You study at a young age. The sooner you can begin your education, the better. Okay? Roy, Jack Kellogg, Jack Schwartz, Kyle Williams, Matt Monaco, Huddy, all these guys, and Mariana, all the guys started in their early 20s. Mariana started at 17. If you're under 18 and you click the link below and join my challenge, you need parental permission. Mariana's family, fantastic. They're very supportive of her. She studied for an entire year before even trading. Lesson number 5, I love my job. I love my students. I love my job. I'm so grateful to have meaning. Trading after a while, depending on how much money you make or how like burnt out you get from studying or like trying to trade and maybe not making a lot of money, it's a very lonely profession. It's very materialistic. Like the whole trading world only values big money. If you actually click a link below, I talk about why my millionaire students don't even like me that much anymore. And I prefer it that way because I teach people with small accounts. I make this meaningful for me. And I can't encourage you enough to find a meaningful job. And this is why I love trading, because if you do become one of my top students and you get financial freedom, you can do anything you want. And I can't encourage you enough to choose hobbies and choose your time wisely, right? Like focus on what you love. Becoming a millionaire, becoming financially free isn't just about like the toys that you can get, okay? The Kardashians and rappers galore have misrepresented the beauty of being a millionaire. It's not about materialism. It could be if you want, but for me, the best things, and I had the toys, got rid of them because they didn't fulfill me after a while. The best thing for me, treating my family, donating to charities that I care about, and traveling and being free. This goes back to why it's so good to become a millionaire or financially free at a young age. You can explore more and you are able to explore whatever makes you happiest in life. A lot of people watching this, maybe you're studying because you have a job you don't like. Maybe you want to make more money. Maybe you're inspired by my millionaire students. Maybe you realize 90% of traders lose. 70% plus of people under the age of 30 hate their jobs. It's a really tough life. It's a frustrating life if you don't have knowledge and freedom. So get that knowledge and freedom. Get inspired by Roy. Do me a favor, congratulate Roy below, where he's not just one of my millionaire students. He also helps mentor other people in the challenge. Thank him for that. Secondly, I love the whole thing about trading smaller. Going backwards every now and then can actually be the path forward, even though it's counterintuitive. And I love that he's traveling more. Also, do me a favor, leave a comment below and put it in caps. Say, Roy, go to Italy with Tim. Stop bitching out.